So you got your missile adapters for the jetpack. What you're gonna get, you get 3 of these pieces which are pre-sanded already with the rings glued on. Those will be your bottom threadings that slot in to the tops of the missile carriages, I suppose. So you're gonna get a loose ring. Let me just pick that up. You can get a loose ring, which originally there will be flash along with a small hole, probably about that big, for the rotocasting or molding or whatever. These side ones, these ones were full. This one had a small hole in it. So you take your ring and you even it up along the middle where you're going to want your centered hole for your threading. So you're going to put that on the resin and you're going to trace the inside diameter of your ring for your guidings to cut so that these can slide in. So you'll do that with all of them. The center ring is bigger because it's a bigger piece. So you'll get one loose ring of this size, the small ones, and then you'll get a loose ring for your middle one for tracing. So they are all the same size threadings though. It's just the ring for the secure ring on top. So you'll slot these in like this, and then the ring will hold it down, and you'll put glue on the underside of the ring. So like this one, I haven't glued my final piece in yet. So you'll see that. You'll want to paint them a grayish silver or something, whatever you like. So those will all fit in like that once you cut them and Dremel out the holes. So then you get 2 pieces like this for your side adapters, and those will be the top threadings, and we'll have a small PVC pipe cut for the depth offsets. So you're probably going to want to keep testing them when you screw them in to see how your height is and if they line up. So if you have a PVC pipe cutter, you're probably going to want to cut this a little bit at a time until you get it flush. I have this one in here. This one is a good fitting. This one is a work in progress for this current jetpack. So once you get it sized, you're just gonna put a whole bunch of your choice of glue on the bottom. And see if I can do this with one hand. So these will screw on. So my ring currently, I glued on a little funky, so it has a little bit of wobble. But once I line it up right, it looks pretty damn good, like that. So that's how mine looks. And it is removable. It doesn't really scrape on anything when you put it in. And my large one, you see some markings in there. When you go to fit your large threading piece, it was this one for me, this pink one. You can see that I marked the areas where it was catching with a marker, and I just took off a little bit at a time to get it to fit snug enough so that it's held in place like this. And you're going to want it as straight as possible to fit in when you screw it on. So I'm pretty sure I finished the test fitting for mine. So I didn't glue it in, so that's why it has a little bit of wobble, but once you glue it in, it'll be nice and flush like the other one. That gap, that's just because mine's not glued in and fitted perfectly yet. But so just make sure you grind down all the high points on your center missile. Some will be thicker or thinner than others. What I use is just a normal Dremel wheel. So you'll get those. So you get the center, top, get all 3 bottom bottom threads, and then you get the side threadings for the tops. So we get 2 of these, 1 of this, 3 of these on the bottom. They all have the same size threading. I think that's it. Let me show you the PVC cutter tool. I would suggest getting one of these ones. These are the ratchet ones. They are a lot easier to use than your non-ratchet ones. So I had one where all you had to do is just gorilla grip it until it cut, but these ones are much easier. You just do that until it cuts. I got that at Home Depot for about 10 bucks. So I will send you, along with the top threadings for the sides, probably a cut of pipe, and cut in 2 parts. I'll probably, for example, I'll just take this and cut it like 2-inch sections, maybe 3, 2 to 3 inch sections, long enough for you to stick it in and long enough for you to cut it down to your size. So remember, when you get these in, trace it out, cut it, slide them in, make sure it's as uniformly center with the lip around as much as possible, and then you just glue the bottom of the lip of the ring and let it just stick on. This one's stuck on. And then you can screw them on and off as you want, change them out. Just make sure to grind the insides. You probably want to use a thicker glue for these ones to get the pipes in. Probably like an epoxy or some sort of thick glue. Hot glue might work, but I wouldn't suggest it. I'd use something more permanent. So if you have any other messages, comments, questions about the adapters, just feel free to hit me up on my shop where you bought it from on Etsy on VaulsAnvil.